Welcome back to my channel. As always, I am very excited for today's video, and this one, as you can tell from the title, is going to be 21 things that I have learned in 21 years, because I just turned 21 3 days ago. I think, yeah. I was supposed to film this video on my birthday. That didn't end up happening. This is different than anything else I've really done on this channel. Mostly it's just health and fitness advice, sometimes some vlogs of my personal life or like me with my son. But this is gonna be the first time that I kind of go into more, I would say still health, because it goes into more of a mental, emotional aspect of health. There will still be a couple of health or fitness related things in here as well. But before we get into it, if this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Samantha, or Sammy for short, and I'm a certified personal trainer as well as a young mom. So if either or both of those are of any interest to you, then please hit the subscribe button and notification bell to keep me informed when I upload all of my future content. You can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Sammy for short. Now, with all that being said and out of the way, let's jump in to the video. So these are in no particular order. I just kind of wrote them out as I thought of them, and some I will go into more detail than others. Some I might just say what it is, point blank period, so that this video isn't too long. Number one is to prioritize both your mental and physical health. A lot of people will try to work out, usually for aesthetic purposes, and I'm not saying that's a bad reason to work out, but you really forget about how it makes you feel mentally. It does help you so much. But also, like, fitness doesn't just help your mental health. You do also have to take other additional steps to work on your mental health, whether that be self-care, therapy, reading, things like that. Just making sure that you're taking care of both your body and mind is extremely important, and your mental state is also going to be huge in regards to your physical health. It will show in your body if you are holding stress or tension, or you're just not doing your best. Number two, you can't and won't always get what you want. I've been having an argument with my 4-year-old recently where he keeps saying, but I want to. I don't care if you want to. You can't always do what you want to do. And this could be for a plethora of reasons, whether that just be you need to learn patience, learn that not everything's all about you, working well with others, or that you just need to learn like the hard truth. Again, life's not all about you and your needs. Then that's going to be one of the many reasons that you're not always going to get what you want. And we shouldn't always get what we want, because then what's special about the outcome? If you're always getting everything you want, then there's nothing special anymore, because you know you can have any. Number 3 and 4 go together. Admit to your faults, and weaknesses are just as important as strengths. People tend to always highlight the good things about themselves, but they never want to realize what the bad is, or they never want to admit to their faults. So I see this a lot in a work environment where people make excuses or say, well, I didn't do XYZ because this person didn't do that thing. You're pointing the blame at someone else. You're not taking full responsibility. You're not learning, and you're not growing from it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's totally fine to make mistakes. And it's actually a good thing to do, so long as you take a step back, you apologize for it, you're just like, hey, my bad, it won't happen again, let me learn from it. And this again goes similarly into weaknesses and strengths. People will always, again, highlight their great qualities, but won't highlight the not so great ones. And something I like to do, I'm not a full-hearted believer of like the zodiac or whatever, but I do think it's interesting to look at. I'm a Libra, so when I see the list of strengths, which is what most people want to look at, I also look at the not so great traits of a Libra. And if I feel as though I have one of those, I will admit to it and I will work on it. So I know a big thing with Libras is indecisiveness. That 100% used to be me. I'm getting so much better now at making decisions for myself, for my son, for others. But I always want to make sure that I am continuing to grow that skill and be comfortable in the decisions I make. Number 5, you should never stop learning. I don't think you should ever be at a point in your life where you think that you know everything and that you have it all figured out. You don't have to learn anymore. And maybe you did learn as much as you could learn in one specific area of life, but there are so many subjects and matters in this world to think about. And you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different areas, even if you do think you know everything in your field, and more than likely you probably don't, because at least so like in my line of work with fitness, you have to get 2 continuing education units every 2 years to get recertified every 2 years. Basically, you're going to be studying for the rest of your life. Why? Because health changes constantly, and it's not just health, it's a lot of other things too. So you should always be learning. You should not only be learning what you already know, but you should look at different resources as well that might differ from what you're used to, so you have a vast knowledge of almost everything. And this also could go into like just traveling, because when you get involved in other people's cultures, seeing how people can live such different lives and have such different customs, it makes you see the world in a completely different light. Number 6, you need to manage your time. Now, it doesn't always have to be perfect. Sometimes things are going to happen, but if you have a good time management system, or you plan or calendar block, whatever the case may be, if you have some type of system that works for you, that you can manage your time so that you can get the most done, be the most productive, proactive version of yourself, and even if like shit hits the fan, you're still able to pick back up where you left off and figure out how to move things around so that it's not stressful to you, then I would highly recommend doing that. Now, I can do a whole separate video on time management. I might do separate videos on all of these while I'm at it. I'm not going to go into detail. There's so many different ways to time manage. It depends on how you are as a person. Number 7 and number 8 also go hand in hand. You can't trust everyone, and especially if you're a nice person, people will often mistake your kindness for weakness. This one I've pretty much always known, and I would consider myself to be a very kind, compassionate, empathetic, and understanding person, and oftentimes that leads me to getting used a lot, whether that's by friends, whether that's by guys, whatever the situation may be. It's definitely caused me to have a lot less trust in people, and that sucks because I always want to see the good in everyone. I never want to think anyone's inherently evil or has bad intent. When it happens time and time again, you kind of realize that, you know, maybe you can't be so trusting, and it is something that you have to work on within yourself, because people will sense that, and people will see how far they can push you and test your boundaries and your limits. Number 9 is to enjoy nature. When I was a little kid, I did not like being outside. I don't know why, but I just did not enjoy it. But now as an adult, I love even just being able to take a walk outside on a average day. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful day ever. Just the fact that I get to breathe fresh air, seeing the trees. I even like driving like on the highway sometimes. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at the trees on the side, sometimes they can be so beautiful, and I think people really miss that. So it's not just about being in nature, but it's about listening to nature, feeling the breeze, looking at the beauty around you, looking at the sky, and like any form of the sky too, because I think there's something beautiful to be found in not only a clear blue sky, but a sunset, purple and pink clouds, or like even rain and storms can be beautiful in a sense if you really take it as that. And I just love being in nature. I know I sound so crazy right now, but maybe the next time you're outside, just take a little moment to observe what's around you and really take it in more than you ever have before. Number 10 is to stay active. You don't have to do a crazy intense workout every day, but just move your body even a little bit, even if it's only for 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's just a walk, maybe it's just playing with your kid, maybe you do a full intense like hour and a half workout at the gym. Whatever it is for you, do it. It makes you feel better. It gives you more energy. You feel like you've done something for yourself. 11, this is a big one for me. It's okay to say no. In fact, you should say no a lot more than you probably do, at least if you're like me, because I had this habit of not saying no to people. Like even with dumb things, I would always, if a guy wanted my number, I would just give it to him because I felt like I was being rude if I said no. And now I don't have that problem at all, but that used to be a big issue of mine. So I'd get all these guys' numbers and then I would ghost them, as if that's any better. A lot of times it is very important to say no, because you need to value your boundaries, your time, your energy. You can't give that to everybody for everything they want. And a lot of people misuse and abuse when you do things for them, or whatever it is. If they're asking you to do something, it could be at work, it could be a relationship, it could be family even. Family does do that a lot if you're not careful, and you need to respect yourself and set boundaries for yourself. That's a big one too. Make sure you are setting boundaries for yourself, your time, your energy. And a big way to do that is by saying no. Number 12, anything is possible as long as you work for it. And kind of going along with number 13, anything worthwhile is not going to be easy. So you can do whatever it is that you want to do in life. Unless there's some extreme medical reason, that's the only thing I can think that's like literally limiting you from doing the things you want to do. You can do whatever you want in life so long as you put forth the effort time, work, all the skills you need to actually go forth in taking the steps to pave the path. Nobody is going to do that for you. The world does not just hand you things. You have to go work for it. You have to work on yourself, and nobody can help you unless you want to help yourself. And that goes the same for, even though people want to manifest, and I love manifesting and law of attraction and all of that, but none of that works unless you are taking active steps on your own. And then the universe will work with you to help you do that. Number 12, stop saying sorry. This is a big one, not only for me, but a lot of people I surround myself with. I can always point out when people don't need to apologize. And the reason I can is because I know when I do it. There are so many times when I say sorry to people, and it's not that I don't mean it, but it's not worth the sorry. For a big example, if you're walking past somebody, a lot of us tend to have that urge to say sorry. Why don't we just say excuse me? That makes so much more sense than saying sorry I had to walk there. Like, no, I'm not sorry that I had to walk there. I guess maybe sorry I got in your way, but no, we apologize way too much. If you're late to something, instead of saying sorry I'm late, say thank you for waiting for me. That sounds much more confident. Also takes away from the meaning of the word sorry. If we just say it for everything, it doesn't mean anything more anymore. When you're yelling at a kid and they say sorry, like they only said it because you made them say it, not because they actually wanted to say it. And it's kind of a very similar effect when you're just saying it because you feel like you need to instead of actually feeling like you want to. Number 15, it is best to keep a small circle. And this is something I learned really on. I think like when I was 13, I was part of the popular group at my school, and I just remember like not enjoying it. We would all just sit at lunch. It was always the same thing, talking shit about people, and I ended up just being on my phone a lot of the time and not even enjoying that. So one day I just remember like going to sit with the kids that kind of got picked on all the time, and it was so much more fun, and it was a smaller group. Even if I didn't have all of their same interests in common, it was still just a way better use of my time, and I just enjoyed myself more. So I've always had small groups of friends, and especially recently, I finally found a solid group of people that I can truly call friends. And it's not many of them, and I'm okay with that because I'd rather have a couple amazing people in my life than 1,000 mediocre at best. Number 16. Having high morals and high values is not a bad thing. And those morals and values are going to be different depending on the person. I'll be honest, when I was 18, I thought like, oh yeah, if I needed to, I could be a stripper, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a point where I was highly considering it. And oh yeah, if a guy offered me money, of course I would like be someone's sugar baby. Like, why not? Like, I'm getting money and this and that. And then when those opportunities and offers actually started coming my way, I realized like I didn't want them. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people that want to do that. That's why I said everyone's morals and values are different. To me, if you're doing something where you feel not your best, or like just the thought of doing those things did not make me feel fulfilled, it did not make me feel like the best version of myself personally, I'm happy that I chose not to do that, even though I'm sure I'd be like hella rich right now if I had made those decisions. Again, I'm not downing anyone who does do that stuff. That's just personally me. And I'm not gonna lie, the reason I have it on here as like it's not a bad thing to have those values is because I've had a lot of people judge me for not being a stripper or a sugar baby or doing an OnlyFans. Like, we're starting to normalize that type of industry, and that's fine, but I think we should also normalize that not everyone wants to partake in that industry. 17, choose your battles wisely. Not everything is worth fighting over. It's really not, and I'm not much of a fighter anyway. But as I've grown up, I've definitely realized it's not worth my time to fight over things that won't matter. It's not worth my time to stress or worry about drama that, again, is not gonna matter. And this actually leads me into number 18, which is if it won't matter in 5 years, don't waste more than 5 minutes worrying about it. This is one of my favorite quotes, and it's because it's so true. If it's not going to matter to you, it's not even 5 years. It's probably not gonna matter to you really in 2 weeks, as little as 2 weeks. And I know that's crazy. Some things will take longer, maybe a month, maybe a couple months, maybe up to that 5 years. But again, putting in perspective, if it's not going to matter at a certain point, then stop worrying about it now. I know it's easier said than done, and you're gonna have moments where you're gonna, start thinking about it again. But don't allow yourself to think about it for more than 5 minutes at a time, because it really is not worth your precious time you have on this earth. You don't know how long you have. So you may as well make the most of everything you got and stop stressing about things that happened in the past or worrying about things that are going to happen in the future that haven't even happened yet, and just enjoy the present moment. Number 19 is one that I don't think a lot of people are going to expect me to have on this list, but it is to take your sexual health very seriously. And obviously, you know, this is coming from someone who got pregnant at 15, had a baby at 16. I'm speaking from experience. You want to make sure that you're staying safe, whatever form of birth control that may be, but not even just with pregnancy, like even with like STDs and stuff. Like, you want to make sure that you are staying cautious. You want to make sure that you're getting checked regularly. Even if you're not sexually active, I still think it's important to go see a gynecologist, if you're a girl obviously, to make sure that everything's okay down there. Or even if you haven't been sexually active in a long time, it doesn't hurt, again, just to make sure that everything's good and you're in tune and you understand what's going on in your body at all times. And within this, don't be afraid to talk to your partner about their sexual health and make sure that they're okay before you get into any type of situation with them. And make sure that, you know, if your goal is you don't want to get pregnant, make sure that they are very aware that you guys are going to take the steps to not get pregnant. Number 20, do not be afraid to ask for help. Stop trying to do everything yourself. Stop thinking that you're going to seem dumb or sound dumb because you ask a question. It is good to ask questions, and it is great to confidently say that you don't know something, because people will respect that more and want to help you, as opposed to you thinking you know it all and you have it all and you don't need help with anything, and then you screw up. Then it's on you, and then we get back to that first point where you gotta own up to your mistakes. And again, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, but if you want to avoid that altogether, then just ask for help. 21 is actually very appropriate for this type of birthday, I guess, is having fun looks different for a lot of people. I like to go out, I like to be social, I like to have a good time. However, I know some people who are more chill and would rather hang at home and maybe watch a movie or something. That's not really me. I don't like watching movies all that much. I know some people who love partying, and I enjoy parties here and there, but I don't want to party every single night and getting shit-faced drunk. That's just not my style, but that's some other people's style. Some people like hiking, some people like going to the beach, some people like traveling, some people don't enjoy any of that, some people enjoy cooking, some people enjoy spending time with their family, some people don't. Everyone is going to have a different idea of what fun is to them, and that is totally okay. Don't feel weird or wrong or strange if you're in your 20s and you don't like to party. Don't feel judged that you are in your 20s and you do like to party, or that you're in your 30s and you still like to party like you're 22. Don't feel ashamed for any of that, so long as, you know, you got everything else in your life in order. Then how you choose to spend your free time and having fun is up to you, and nobody needs to dictate that, and it doesn't need to look the same, because otherwise it would get boring. Those are my 21 things I have learned in 21 years of life. Let me know your age and what things you have learned in your life down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like and share with your friends. And that's it. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go, but before I do, I want to remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.